This is Smithy.tv.
So Sue, we are on the My Reels on Smithy TV, and I have counted, and I can't do it on one hand, there are 6 lovely ladies in the studio with us tonight.
Yeah.
I have dreams to start this way. I'm just saying.
Are you counting me in this or Lindsay?
Totally, I'm totally.
Yes,
oh,
of course.
Lindsay's getting, yeah, poor Lindsay. But we've got.
Are you feeling a little vulnerable?
No, I feel like James Bond.
nervous?
I'm like, this is just cool.
Good.
I'll put the best Sean Connery I've got and just all in.
That's pretty good. It worked right over there. I saw that.
I can do the whole Hunt for Red October Sean Connery show. We sail into history. Our own fleet doesn't know our potential.
Wow.
We'll sit off that coast and listen to that rock and roll while we conduct missile drills. And in the end, we sail to Havana, where the climate is warm and so is the comradeship. Oh, thank you.
It just got a little warm in here.
All right. So yes, amazing room this evening. So Sue on my left, of course. Behind the camera, which we cannot see, is Shannon, who's just minding us and making sure I behave. But going around the table, I'm sure I'm going to slide out a couple names. We're joined by Laura Carteret. Carteret. Very awesome. From Seed, also from Seed, our dear friend Amanda Brugel, who's just awesome.
Thank you.
And this is like your 3rd time on the show.
And a whore.
And finally,
Wow,
right off the start.
I know.
It's gonna be.
It's
true.
It's true. You
Yeah.
should see my outfit.
Yeah.
It's true.
You've got geek written all
Yeah.
over you.
And then on my right, we have Stephanie Ann Neales. Hooray! And then once again, Carrie-Lynn Neales, who apparently everybody now at the table knows I have a huge crush on. So thank you, everyone.
At the table, everyone knows.
And the internet. The world knows now. Well, yes, ladies, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
This is insane. I tweeted at Adam before we started, and he's threatened to have a call-in just in case he needs to have
Oh God,
We're like, oh, we don't have service.
Yeah, we don't have service there.
Yeah.
So, but we've invited him and Vanessa to come back for rebuttals if needed.
Yeah.
So,
We miss Vanessa. And we miss Abby. We're doing the Women of Seed.
Yes.
And Vanessa and Abby, we wish they were here.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But you know Amanda's favorite movie is Shawshank.
Oh.
Carrie kind of comes down on the side of Dirty Dancing, if memory serves.
Yeah.
And loves film noir.
Oh, now you're back up a bit. Yeah.
No, we talked about the film noir, and we had, you know,
No, that's fine.
we had a.
We had a couple of those.
That's true.
I went home and wrote them down in my journal. Not true. So.
What, Dirty Dancing? I just knew you said that, right?
Yeah, that's what you said.
Okay.
Yeah, it's true.
I love Dirty Dancing.
But I mean, okay, you know, the thing is that holds in my heart. I'm not saying it's like an Academy Award winner, but
Well, no, I certainly wasn't.
Wow.
Stephanie actually had a Dirty
I would.
Dancing week.
I love
featured
Dirty
as her Dirty
You did, and
You
as
can't
did
say
as
anything
did Adam.
wrong about Mr. Swayze.
No,
that's
that's we've discussed.
Or in Roadhouse.
Okay,
Or
Roadhouse.
in Point Break, even though.
Point Break. Hello. Surfing.
I'm
Patrick
telling
Swayze.
you.
What?
And
No.
Keanu
Have you seen
Reeves.
Roadhouse though?
Wow.
There's a lot of fights.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow. Yeah.
So, all right,
Testosterone.
Stephanie, Laura,
Oh
favorite
God, you're
movies.
gonna ask me about my
Oh yeah,
favorite
we gotta
movies.
know.
It depends on the time in my life.
All right.
Okay,
you
Yeah.
go. I gotta
Yeah.
think. You go.
But I have to say, In the Name of the Father is one of my all-time
Ooh,
favorites.
That's a good one.
Carrie-Lynn
Nobody's pulled that
Lewis.
one out before.
Oh, you
Yeah.
know what that movie is.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Okay, Neales, yes, yes, yes. On my left foot.
Yeah.
That one is amazing too, but In the
Last
Name of the
Little
Father.
Mohicans.
Lincoln.
No. I still win them.
In the Name of the Father
Yes,
is
Carrie.
excellent.
The
I
only
can't
reason
remember
I get
who was
Shawshank is because it's tattooed
played his
all over
dad,
my body.
Pete's.
Oh,
He's
okay.
dead
Like,
now. He
quote.
passed.
No.
Yeah.
Who? Sorry?
Pete passed away. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he passed away.
actor.
Yeah, it was me.
He was in The Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet, Baz Luhrmann version.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good. Such a good movie.
That was my Romeo. Yes.
Oh, I love Shawshank too. Is like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Shawshank was
hello.
pretty fantastic.
It is.
hello, obviously.
That whole script.
All right, now it's on Laura.
Yeah, well, there's so many. How do you pick one? I will say that I went through a ridiculous Hitchcock phase,
Good for you.
which I did again when I introduced I, like Janet, have a 15-year-old daughter, and though I would like to think I'm a much better mother. But I introduced Hitchcock to my daughter Isabel. And my favorite, she hasn't seen Psycho, but my favorite one by far, and is certainly, she will say, is her favorite movie, is Rear Window.
All right. Yeah.
I just think it's
I just rewatched that.
kind of
Yeah.
a perfect film, really.
My preferences for Hitchcock tend to go towards Cary Grant because I just think Cary Grant's just
yeah,
a
he's no
man.
slouch.
She's North by Northwest, Notorious.
Yes,
With
it's
Ingrid
good.
Bergman,
It's
how do you
fantastic.
not fall in love with
Yeah.
Ingrid Bergman ever?
But there's something about, Grace Kelly was never more, that first
Catch a
shot
Thief.
when he opens his eyes.
Oh,
and
yeah,
sees
yeah,
her,
yeah.
and it's just perfect filmmaking, I think. So I'll say that. But there's
Good
so many.
choice.
Thanks.
Good choice.
Okay.
Janet would never show Hitchcock movies to her.
No, never.
Sorry.
Jenny No. doesn't
Really,
No,
I know
she
she doesn't
wouldn't.
know who Hitchcock is.
Yeah.
Is that a doctor? She probably
You can't say that out loud. In front of the children.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't imagine that she would show Hitchcock.
Now we are an episode away from the finale, right? Next week is the finale. So we've seen almost everything. We've got like 23 minutes left to go in the season.
Wow,
Which
what
is
a way
not
to say
enough,
that.
right?
That's depressing.
It's not enough.
I've never thought about it
Yeah.
that way.
And I watched both episodes last night just because I was away, so I couldn't watch them. So I watched, 11, 12, or 10, 11 back to back. You guys are always, as always, hilarious.
Oh.
Love you guys. But I thought of this today. If you weren't your character, who would you play on the show?
Oh my god. I think we've discussed that.
We
Before?
have discussed that.
Yeah.
I would love to know now that we actually know each other as who we really are as people, who we think we are. Because that answer when we first
Right.
started shooting, we were like 2 weeks into knowing each other, but it's been like 8 months. We're really solid into who we are as
Mhm.
people. So I'd like to know that too.
Yeah. I mean, or who would you want to play if you weren't your character?
I feel like when I read Zoe, I was like, oh, that's me. Apart from the rose in me, that's it. My rose in me is tempered by my Zoe.
That's
Does that
funny.
say a lot about me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stick it
I don't know, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
But we did go through this, and I don't remember who I said
I did not
would
go.
be.
Okay, I did
I
not
probably
think
would be
anyone.
You were invited
Sarah was.
now,
I was
yeah.
not invited. Where
I
was
think everyone guessed each other's characters for them. Like everyone was like,
Yeah,
you're
that
totally
was
Rose,
it.
you're totally Zoe,
Oh,
you're totally
okay.
Michelle.
Oh, maybe that's
I think, and now I don't think anybody's like their character. Like in the.
Really?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I think we can mix and match.
Yeah.
Yeah. To tell you the truth, if we're gonna get into the prosecco, I think we can mix and match. But yeah, no, I know. I remember at the read through, everyone was like, "You are so Michelle." Like,
Did they say it like that?
That's exactly. I think it was actually you. So I think.
I don't talk like that. If I did, you should have smacked me.
But I
My
think
goodness.
like our personalities and stuff like it's really, there has to be an element of you in you to be able
Yeah,
to
of
play the
course.
character.
Absolutely.
But I think that
We had this conversation.
when I read Janet's role, and when we got the breakdown, I was so confused why I hadn't been submitted for Janet.
Really?
Yeah, so confused.
Yeah. Well, there was one particular episode, the Bubba episode, which I kind of think I have to say it might be my favorite episode. But when we all show up at the funeral after Bubba has passed, and I walk in wearing all white, which of course is wildly inappropriate. But I remember you turning to me and going, "Oh no, I totally wear that at a wedding. Or at a funeral. I totally wear that to a funeral." And I'm like, yeah. So you have Janet's fashion sense. You're good with the money. I mean, maybe not so much. And
Good with the money.
I think you're good with the money. Like, you know, you wear your clothes well, and I think you got a little bit of Janet in you.
This conversation's dangerous.
It's awesome.
It is pretty awesome.
But I like Janet.
Janet's
What
awesome.
do you think, though, Laura?
Oh, Michelle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
I think we're totally interchangeable. We had the conversation very early on. I seem to recall that.
Harry should dream that next season.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
We're the two that hate him the most.
Yeah.
Nobody
That'd be
hate, like
so funny.
Michelle and Janet. Really.
It depends on the day.
Well, but you gotta.
I never hate,
But you-
apparently.
No, you never
No.
hate.
No, I never
No.
hate anything.
No.
No.
Character.
My character, yes.
Zoe.
Zoe's awesome.
Yeah, like Zoe.
doesn't
So
hate.
like to read Zoe too. It was to read Zoe. It was a dream because it was like to be that open and lovely and happy about everything. It was a dream because you don't usually, as women, you're not usually cast as that.
Yeah.
Like you're either flighty, and Zoe's not an idiot.
No.
Like
No.
Zoe's happy but grounded and
She seems very zen. As
Yeah.
She's just very zen.
But a little competitive.
A little bit.
Who are you?
Has maybe a shady past.
As you learned the other night, yeah.
I said to Tim that the best line of the series so far has been, "I've forgotten more about sex than you."
I had some pretty good one-liners.
I was like, damn, that was hot!
Thanks.
It's all true.
I wrote it myself. I'm kidding.
Zoe.
okay. Who'd you be?
I think I would be Rose. I think
Yes,
they're
Rose,
pretty.
yes.
I think we're.
Look at how we're sitting. Like we're just sitting beside the people who sit.
Or I
want
think
therapy?
acting in a day.
I won therapy.
I'm not Abby. I'm a
I
Steve.
wrote that line because I do that. I'm like, I won whatever. I'm doing what am I saying today? We were hanging out and I said something. I was like, I just won that. Like, there's never a thing.
It's not a winner-lose situation.
No.
When I do that, and they wrote that line. And that was-
Yeah.
Even here with Last of the Mohicans, you're like, but I still win.
That's not the game. I can't
Did
win.
it win?
I can't win at something, which is why I'm Zoe.
That's it.
Well, next season we'll switch.
Okay.
We'll all switch.
That'd be a great episode.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be hilarious.
And it can be a musical.
Please. No,
No,
I'm
I'm
kidding.
kidding.
I
I
don't
don't know why.
Not the musical.
They're like, and this is the musical episode.
Fourth season has got to be.
Right.
So
Yeah.
And you've got your
Joss
own.
Whedon was
Yeah.
on the show.
dream.
And then there was a little bit of a hoopla on Facebook this week that Sue kind of got involved in at one point.
Oh, I don't know what's
Yeah.
happening to us.
That apparently
God.
at 11, Amanda wanted to be a Care Bear. And we just wanted to know
I did get
what
involved.
kind of Care Bear that would be.
You wanted to be a Care Bear?
Yes.
Which is a great,
Not at 11 until I was 11.
Oh, until sorry, everybody.
And that was the thing that threw me because I
This
was
was
like,
more of a lifelong dream.
Yeah. Let's get our facts
Okay.
straight.
Sorry, yes.
If we're on.
I was like,
Yeah.
what happened when you were 11 that made you like stop wanting to be a Care Bear?
Somebody probably made fun
And
of
I
her.
opened
Yep.
the door.
Yeah.
And I
just-
started quoting Jay-Z, and I was angry and stuff. And
Yeah.
other people hopped on board, and no, it was now I remember the hoopla. I'm involved in a lot of hoopla. So that was one of them.
Well, I just wanted to know what kind of Care Bear that would have been. Would you have been like a pre-existing Care Bear? Would you have your own special powers?
Well, I mean, like I don't know, like Fantasia Bear.
Fantasia Care Bear?
Like Felicia Bear. Like some sort of like urban,
oh yeah.
cool, not urban, I live in the suburbs.
Suburban cool.
A badass suburban bear. Like, yeah.
Would you have like door knockers?
Yes. Yes. No, I wanted to be every year. I really thought that Care Bears were real, so I either wanted to be a Care Bear or a crossing guard.
I wanted to be a solid gold dancer, so whatever. I did. Like very badly.
I like these questions. Are you getting a lot of cackling? I don't feel like we're cackling enough.
A little bit?
Yeah.
We're all cacklers, actually.
At 11, what did I want to be when I was? I'm so boring. I mean, I knew that I was going to be an actor
Wow.
when I was 8.
But you didn't want to be like a toy or something. You didn't want to be a Care Bear or one.
No, I never wanted to be a toy. No.
I like the phrase. Did you want to be like when you're that age? I guess your heroes, or at least for me, speak for myself. Like it was
Stacey Q.
Enough of you. Smurfs. I wanted to be.
Garfield.
Well, because you imagine this world, and it's so fantastical that you're like, I want to be part of that, like Fraggle Rock.
It's
I want to live in the world.
Rock. So what? Oh,
I love
Such a good
Fraggle.
show.
Hey, what do you want to be?
I wanted to be anything but a Care Bear because my family called me Care Bear. And I was like,
Oh.
at 11.
They're like,
My
okay.
brother used to say to me, Care Bear stare! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, care! So I'm fucking crazy. It's true. Now he'll message me and be like, hey Care Bear, how are you? And it melts my heart. But when I was 11, I hated it. My mom has a story that she loves to tell. That at like one of her amazing dinner parties, I must have been maybe 4 or 5. 5, because I didn't really speak much until I was 5. True story.
We're learning a lot about you today.
What's up? Okay, you want more?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
So apparently at one of her dinner parties, someone said, "What do you want to do when you grow up, Carrie?" And I said, "A tabletop dancer." You did not. And those. I mean, you know, I'm kind of rude. That's strange. But no, just because I'd like to. Recently this came up again in my life.
What's happening?
Carrie, I did this thing, this photoshoot thing, and the photographer was like, okay, what do you want to do? I was like, I like to stand on things I'm not supposed to stand on. Like, that's sort of the thing that I like to do. Like, on benches or on tables or whatever. And that's where that came from. The idea of, like, having a big, like, crinoline skirt and just, like, canning on a table, I was like, sign me up. And then my mom had to pull me aside and give me, like, the 5-6-year-old version of what a tabletop dancer was. And I was so mortified.
Yeah, that was my moment as a Care Bear when I. I thought we were having a one-on-one, and then
That was my moment to ask a Care Bear.
all right, listen, I'm gonna wheel my chair in.
Listen, Fantasia. Stare away, girl.
When you like reveal that part of yourself and you think it's real, like you thought your tabletop dancer was real, and Stephanie's a Fraggle, and like
No, solid gold dancer.
so yeah. And you feel like it's real, and then all of a sudden you're told it's not real.
Yeah.
It's like it's the first time you see behind the curtain,
Yeah.
and it breaks your heart.
And it's almost like you're an idiot for thinking it was real. And
For 11 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was watching Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman and all the big skirts and like seriously side saddle and horses, and I was like, I love it. I just want a skirt that
I think I know how to get Carrie back on the show.
I think so.
can. You think I
Or just clear the table.
Don't tempt me.
It's in the shape of a television. audition.
But that's why I wanted to be a tabletop dancer.
Wow.
So come a long way, you guys.
Well,
After the bills.
Whoa.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Quoting Brian Dennehy, I'll shut up now.
Brian Denny, he is awesome.
He is awesome. I'm quoting him from an interview actually from several years ago. Where
When
he
he
was
wanted
feeling
to be a
rather.
toy?
He didn't want to be a Care Bear. Although he would be a good.
He would be a great Care Bear.
Yeah. No, he was comparing being an actor to being a whore. That was what he said.
See?
I hear that you use the word horror
She
on the
does
show,
a
so
lot.
I
Sure
feel
do.
like this is an okay thing to do.
I love you.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
You started it.
What do you do?
yeah, but like arbitrarily, you're like, I have to get this out there. I'm gonna call you a whore, so you're a whore.
I definitely called Adam a whore because he was like,
Well,
He just-
then
I
it's
can't
not-
even know
Yeah, but
that.
Adam is.
Yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
It's honestly the scariest for me when Amanda goes silent. Like a big bomb.
It's gonna be either really funny or really bad. I'm gonna get smacked after this interview
No, you're
for
not.
bringing that up in the first
I'm
place.
in between.
That's right.
Love it.
Favorite moments on or off camera during Siege?
Oh god.
Wow, so many.
Good question.
You can include this one.
Check.
Oh, I know.
I think for me it was the chemistry reads that we did before we even got the parts.
This is a very good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when before we all got the parts, they paired us together with
Right.
different characters. So like I went in with Amanda once, and then I went in with somebody else who was reading for her, and she vice
There were
versa.
two of us for every role.
Right.
And
Yeah.
It was a 6.5 hour screen test.
Oh,
Nobody had
my
ever,
Lord.
like, I'd never experienced anything like it. Sorry to interrupt. Darby.
No. But that for me was my favorite moment because you really get to see what kind of pairings there are, and then you meet like Adam, and then like I meet you there, and then I
Right.
meet somebody else playing. So it's this excitement before,
Yeah.
and then I remember very specifically in my audition with Amanda, I was like, oh man, if I get it, it's like I hope she gets it because we had this great chemistry, and it was like it was just so natural and so amazing. It was such a great feeling, and that was like that was the coolest moment for me.
It was a wonderful
It's true.
experience that entire. I don't know of any actor that has ever gone through a chemistry read that long and that intense. But what was so fantastic about it, despite the stress, was that it was made really, really clear right from the get-go that Joseph was looking for a team. That he was adamant about it being not just people, because you sort of get to a point where there's a lot of people that can play a part, but to get the right collection of people, the right sort of spirit and generosity in the room, that that we'd look out for each other.
Yeah.
And it became, as soon as I knew that, I went, oh, so I totally am ready to get this part. Because my roots as our Carrie's and Amanda's, we were all from the theater, right? So the theater is the place where you learn to collaborate on that level, and so that was it was a really special day, I think. It was long, stressful.
I didn't experience that.
No,
I
we
wasn't
didn't.
there that day. I
Right.
didn't read with any of you. I didn't know any of you until, well, you on the plane.
That was a look.
You got on the plane?
No, we didn't.
Oh.
No, we didn't meet
We
anywhere.
didn't meet. We should have.
Okay.
I overpacked, which is a thing that I do. And I hate myself for it every time. And I congratulate myself early in the packing process when I think that I've done well. And then I continue to pack, and then I've overpacked. But so this happened, and the woman at you have to put your bag on the thing, and they weigh it, and she was like, oof, sure.
$5,000.
And I was like, I'm gonna reassemble. And so I at the baggage check thing, like where you hand over your pack, they do the whole thing. I unzipped my bag and started taking stuff out the way that I do, which is pretty much this. And then reassembling and putting things in my carry-on and making it all fit. Unbeknownst to me,
I was in line and I was so excited to be going away and getting a job, and I think that this is my favorite moment. It's just being in line. I quit the business forever, and I then decided to come back after having a baby, and I gave myself 6 months to get like a job. And 6 months to the date of when I did that, not unlike your story, I booked the show. So it was kind of lovely. It was kind of a sign to maybe stick it through a couple more years. And so I was just so excited to be in an airport, just to be out of my house. And there was this girl then when I was looking, because none of us had known who. Did you guys know? Did you know who was cast? I didn't know. Did you know?
I had heard that Matt had been cast, but I didn't know who had Harry, and I didn't know.
We didn't know each other, and then we were flying away to this lovely place, and so we didn't know one another. So for me, my experience is I was perusing the airport trying to find someone who looked like an actor, just because I wanted to have that moment of like, you got like that moment of instantly you're on the same page and in the same book, and you fight so hard to get the job, and then when you get it and you're there, to know that you have a teammate is just such a wonderful feeling. And I looked over and there was this girl, this redheaded girl, who was thin and lovely enough to be an actress, but was just a mess. Messier than actresses. And she had a scarf wrapped around her, and a scarf around her arm, and a scarf around her waist, and I was like, oh no, she's a musician. That's not an actor. And then I saw her later, and she was walking, and I went to Tim Hortons, and I got myself a coffee, and I saw her walk by, and she still had several scarves on. She walked by in almost this exact outfit, and she was walking, and I was like, I wonder if that's, I don't think so.
You don't think, or you were really hoping?
No, but I didn't think so, but maybe it was that moment of, but that's not really the moment in the show beforehand. But it was a lovely moment of like the possibilities.
That's cool.
It wasn't that many scarves I had.
There was a lot of scarves.
And then I had a couple of
bandana or something.
I
Wow.
asked her to be able to pull off a bandana,
Wow.
and I don't think that I can.
That's why you didn't get the lesbian
I
role.
vividly remember walking through the airport and seeing Matt. Matt and I were on the same flight. And there I was walking through, and we get to the gate, and I see him sitting there, and Matt and I had never met. We knew each other's work. He had, this is a bit of a backstory, but he knew my work. He had seen me do a kind of radical interpretation of Hamlet for the World Stage Festival.
Cool.
And I knew his work, his comic work, but we'd never met and we'd never worked together. And he was very nervous in the chemistry read. And you know, I was thrilled when I heard that it was going to be him, but I didn't anticipate that we were actually going to be on the same flight. And so I walked through, and there he is, and he's sitting there, and he looks. I love you, Matt. But he looked terrified.
Yes, he's always terrified.
And he was terrified, I think, for the first 3 weeks that we were there. He turned to me and he said, I said, hi. I said, we're on the same flight. I'm so happy and congratulations, and I can't wait to work with you, and you know, blah blah blah. And he said, I just need you to understand. I'm really going to raise the bar. I'm going to meet the bar. I'm going to meet the bar, Laura. And I just went, what the hell are you talking about? I had no clue what he meant. And he was just so nervous and so beautiful and so lovely. And he had, in my mind, absolutely nothing to worry about because he was perfect and continues to be perfect.
He probably meant he needed the bar.
Yes, that's what, and I think they may have had a drink or two on that flight. Yeah. Okay, so maybe you're right. Yeah. Yes, but that was a favorite moment of because we all adore
Thrown
Matt.
almost everybody under the bus in one of these interviews, and Matt Barham. How you doing?
Can we just toast?
He likes to drink.
Matt Barham.
Yeah.
Just because we
Guy likes to sip on some scissor. He likes to drink.
Stop.
No, he does, not in a bad way, but like you meet him and you don't expect it, and then like he likes to drink. So I'm just saying, if you guys ever want to.
Do you remember that night we were? Who was it? Oh.
Wow.
We were a lot happened. Did you catch up?
Yeah.
Rose. No. Yes. We were in somebody's room.
Friday night.
Oh.
There's a sign.
The sign went
Literally.
No, I meant it's an omen.
It's a sign.
Yeah.
Does that happen?
We were in. Whose
twice.
room were we in?
Probably Adam's.
No, Adam was asleep.
What was happening?
Well, I'm not a gaffer.
And
My room.
It was in your room.
My
And we
room.
were having.
You were there.
We were having a good time. It was
yeah, we were
really loud. We were gonna knock on the door. Matt comes in, he's like, guys, I mean, I know it's you, but I have an early morning. I really have to get to sleep. And we're like, oh, you want to join? He's like, yeah. He outstayed the rest of us.
Yeah, I finally was like, dude, I gotta go to bed. Your call time is in half an hour.
Horrified when he walked in. I was like, oh, you're so right. Oh, I'm so irresponsible. I'm so sorry. And he was like, no, I'm gonna be right back. Like us all under the table.
And then he shows up to work and then he kills it.
Every
Wow.
single time. Talk to
No.
me, okay? Talk
it.
to me about it.
Yeah.
I just went like it was an unbelievable experience
Wow.
working with this man because I mean I'd never done comedy before. This is my first kick at it, and to be in a room, to be able to walk onto a set and have somebody like him. I mean, and then Joseph, and then Mark Farrell, who I have to say I think is just a comic genius himself. I just spent the entire day laughing my head off. I couldn't believe my luck. I mean, Matt just effortlessly is able to hit things that I would never even think of. I would just sort of stand back and just let him go.
He does a really good Robert De Niro impression.
Who has that video?
Oh, you do.
I have it.
Did I forward it to you?
You know what? You can just forward it so that you can have it as a link on your.
It is the funny, and then Adam gets in there, and they're both ridiculously awful.
Adam's is like, I mean, because Matt's is
asshole.
Whoa!
It was quite possibly the funniest thing I've ever
That is my
seen.
favorite
Wow.
moment. Actually,
Was
no,
Matt.
no, I take it back.
Smash.
I take it back. My favorite moment is outside of that room when we were about to go in the room and you were lying down on the table and we were.
Oh, it's the ultrasound. The
When
ultrasound.
am I not lying down on the table on this show?
And we were. Well, you're not dancing on it.
I know.
But we were outside. It was the first moment where we all had a scene together, I think.
Yeah, I think
And
you're
we were
right.
standing outside, and we kept getting shushed because we were laughing so hard. And then every time we came in the room, we were supposed to be surprised. We were laughing. It was and it was Matt and then Robert De Niro. It was the first moment where it was like.
Goodness.
It was the first moment where I think we all had to laugh together, which is kind of cool.
Cool. That's a very good moment.
Yeah.
And
what
then
I'll
we
say.
always laugh together all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna. It's so interesting because we all read the script when we got the parts and when we were auditioning for the parts. And then we did the table read and we're like, oh yeah, totally, you're so and everyone's great. And we all work together, and I feel like on a level we kind of take each other for granted and then I'm watching these episodes back, and I know I sent you an email. I feel like all of us have had interactions, but there are moments when I'm watching the show and I think, holy, like, you're brilliant. And you're like, my breath is gone because everyone is
Because we
so
didn't have the
good.
opportunity actually to very often work together.
No.
Yeah.
Right, that's
So-
it, yeah.
So, and because we were shooting 2 episodes in a block, they shoot all the Janet and Jonathan Kondo stuff, and then they shoot Stephanie and
Lesbian
Amanda,
Day,
the lesbian day.
Yeah.
We call it
all that,
lesbian
the
day.
bar.
We called it Lesbian Day.
Day.
And it was the best day of the week. So.
I often
Every
showed up.
day
It was
was
my
the
day
best.
off usually, and I often showed up because it's the best day.
Lesbian Day is a good day. It's a good
And I
day.
have to say, I think everybody on the crew liked Lesbian Day too.
Okay, well, we'll just have to talk.
Condo Day was
Crew rather like not really competitive or anything, but go,
No, I'm not being
No.
competitive. I'm
No,
just
okay.
speaking from my own experience.
which is the only one I know.
Care Bear Stare.
There it is there. Yeah.
It was
That's
my
my
character
stare.
stare.
What is a ghetto Care Bear stare like though? Is it like stare like
Wait,
is it stare like
How
bam?
do ghetto people stare?
Well, I don't know. You said that you're like
No,
street
wait, just
bear.
wait a minute.
I want to see this stare. It's
through their elbows. They'd be like,
Yes. That's my Carrie stare. That's my ghetto Carrie stare. Back on track.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, you have questions, I'm sure.
I did want to say that episode 13, you
Sorry.
all of us we're talking about chemistry. Episode 13, slowly we've been starting to get messages from fans about our chemistry, and when on the day you're so rushed and you're so tired and you're so, I don't want to complain, but I mean just you're in the work, you're not thinking about, I wonder if we have a good chemistry. And being played back, I've never ever had chemistry with a scene partner as I've had with Stephanie, and I didn't know it at the time. Didn't.
Really?
No.
Because you guys are so wonderfully natural on screen. I love.
I just mean
watching
the combo of the two of us, and I didn't know that. So then, when I see moments with you and Jonathan that I wasn't even present for, or I see moments with you and Adam, it's kind of, you're kind of an audience member for the first time, which is wicked. But anyways, the reason I brought this up is because in 13, it's a little teaser, but in the we call it by numbers, but in the final episode that's going to air on Monday, we were talking about this. I feel like it's the most solid work people have done across the board. Cool. And there are moments that are so lovely and so touching and so funny, but so grounded in truth and reality. It was like seeing all of us be there for 3 months and finally get to know each other, and we finally, in those moments, fully became those characters.
Cool.
Wow.
And it's beautiful. There's beautiful moments in it.
Could we watch it now?
Let's go to the tape.
And here it is, the season finale.
Stephanie got
Did you?
No, I didn't. I actually was more obsessed with My Little Ponies, but whatever. We don't want to talk about it. Particularly the pink one.
No.
big deal.
My Little Pony?
Yeah.
Stop. Wow. I liked combing their little tails. And they smelled really nice.
Okay, stop.
No, they did. I loved them.
Okay.
See how you can get a grown woman to go immediately back to.
Oh, because you're so rude.
I'm not ashamed or embarrassed.
I'm not either.
Can that be the opening for season 2? You do back to back.
Oh yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good.
Yes.
Okay, now the show has done fairly well. I don't know the numbers because I just watch it online. It looks like it's doing very well.
Yeah.
So you get the advertising, you get the print media. Does that freak you guys out? Like coming across an advertisement and there you are on television, or there you are on a billboard or in a magazine.
Do you know what I'll say? What freaks me out is when I was saying earlier today, I have a friend who now lives in BC, and we kind of grew up where our mothers live side by side. We grew up together, and her daughter is in love with it. She's 10 or 11. She's in love with the show, and I called the other day to talk to Tara, and she freaked out when she found out it was me. And then we Skyped later on, and she was like, Tara turned the camera onto her, and she's like, say hi to Carrie-Lynn, and she went beet red and and those are the moments that I'm like, oh my god, that's wild, because she's known me she's known me her whole life, and now all of a sudden my nephew saw me pregnant, and then I showed up for his birthday thing last night, and he was like, Tia is aunt in Spanish, and he was like, Tia, where's your baby? Oh, suspension of disbelief. We need to have a serious conversation. It's those moments where I'm like, wow, this is the thing that happens. And that freaks me out. That's cool. Not necessarily coming across, Young and Dundas where the hormones are running.
It's more exciting.
Oh,
But even that stuff, it's not really freaky. It's like a good freaky. It's like, oh, that's so amazing. Like, great, because I'm still me.
Yeah, he sees me every Monday. My nephew sees me every Monday night on TV, and then he sees me in person, and he doesn't quite
make the connection.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys?
My daughter's just totally embarrassed.
What?
Yeah, she's just
15.
like she's 15. Yeah. So of course she's just she doesn't really want to
Doesn't
talk
matter
about
what
it.
you
She
do.
does. She comes down. She's like clockwork. She comes down and watches the show with us. But there were a couple of episodes. Oh my God. Where
Any sex in public places?
yeah, the whole scheduling sex episode. It didn't go
That's
down
so awesome.
very well with my daughter. So that was fun. We went through that. But the thing that I find most lovely is actually how my parents have reacted to it.
Oh, cool.
My father, who just is beside himself with excitement and pride, and to the point where prior to the first episode, he didn't know, like he's not great on the computer, nor am I, but he didn't realize that you can actually send a message to all, right? So he sent an individual message to all of his contacts.
Oh no.
This is how much do we love my dad? To watch the show. He said it took him 3 days. and I know.
Every contact from Bill special.
And I actually said, Dad, you know that you can actually do a send to all sort of thing? And he went, no, forever the brilliant salesman, and he was a brilliant salesman, my father. He said, no, I wanted it to, I wanted to personalize every single, I'm not kidding. So, and every Monday my parents watch the show, and every Monday night at 9 o'clock they give me a call. Like it's just so, I'm so happy. Really, I'm happy. I'm really happy for them that they're so happy.
Yeah.
And they'll tell me, because they've got all their friends, of course, because he individually emailed all of them. So they all watch the show.
The reason why the
He
show's
says,
a success.
well, I'm thinking. I think he needs to get something. No, and like he'll say, oh, and so I ran into so here, and they love that episode, and so is that. Like for me, I'm a rather cynical being, but I hear that, and I just go, there's beautiful things in the world.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
But Amanda's got like her whole army out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got an army now.
That's what I was actually just thinking. I've never, regardless of how well we all thought at the beginning we were cast, I've never played a role even close to this. I'm usually the diva caregiver. I'm usually like the sort of bitchy housewife, or just the fancy lady. And so I don't know, it was just a weird role to play that was new. And all of a sudden it opened it up to all these people that were like, we relate to you, and thank you for Zoe and I. Thank you for creating a relationship that wasn't based on any stereotypes. Thank you for, as a person of color and who happens to be of a certain sexual orientation, thank you for not making her ghetto, or like it was I started getting these emails. After a while they became overwhelming, and we have the same agent, and we would get packages in the mail from Japan, and people would say things. It was I think that's the thing that's the most shocking. The billboards and stuff, it's fun, it's sort of, you're on TV so you don't really look at it. The human connection is what's been the most shocking. Or the funeral episode, I just went through, someone said, and I hope she's watching, I just went through a similar situation, and it helped her, and I mean, as cliche as that sounds from actors, for me, it genuinely shocks and motivates me.
Cool.
It's just humans, it's just human connection, and you want to know that you're doing your job.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And the four of you are just amazing. I mean, I watched, and I think I said it when you were on the show originally, and I think when you were joining us in the pub, is that I don't watch a lot of comedy. I get very picky about what I watch. Because my time is very precious, because I've got the show, I've got the blog, I've got the job.
I watch a lot of TV.
She does. But I get very selective, and you guys,
particularly
you guys made
comedy.
the list.
Yeah.
And it's just, I love the interplay, I love the humor that it can go from like juvenile up to, little high comedy, high art almost. It's I love it. You guys are amazing.
Well, that's a tribute to Joseph.
Yes.
It's a tribute to Joseph and the writing team that
Not
are
really. Joseph
astonishing.
doesn't do
And
anything.
stop it. I love him.
Doesn't
I love him. I love him.
do-
And to Mark Farrell
Scotch go
too,
back.
who really, he knows. He knows.
Who's that?
He knows his
Mark
comedy.
Farrell.
Who's Mark?
Stop
Yes,
it.
that's perfect.
Nobody.
Okay.
Well, I hate to do it, but we do have to wrap up because somebody has to go and shoot on the listener this evening, which is awesome.
Quick.
So say hi to Lauren Lee for us if she's there, because she needs to come back on the show,
Yes, she does.
because she's got stories. And then, yeah, ladies, you have all been fantastic.
Thank you for
I can't
having
believe
us.
I've been
Thank
in a
you for
room
having
with
us.
6 of you. It's just,
Well, we'll do
I
it
was
again.
so
Well,
great.
yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah, this is like part one.
We're
We
going
just have
to
to like
zoo.
recap.
We are
Yeah.
going to the zoo. We need to set that up.
Right?
So, yes.
Well,
I don't know.
The zoo workers.
You're
Oh,
all
right.
crazed.
Yeah.
But Lindsay, gotta go.
Clearly the animals are still there though, right?
Yeah, they're striking too.
He's trying to
Yeah,
wrap
sorry.
it. Would you let the man wrap up? He's
No,
trying to wrap
Lindsay
it.
has been trying to wrap it up.
Sorry, he's trying to wrap it.
You wrapped. You're very
But
good
yeah.
at that.
Oh, I don't really rap. But anyway, Laura, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Amanda,
No.
always so good to have you on the show.
Yep.
Always.
Jesus. Class.
Class. Stephanie, you are adorable. We love you.
Thank you
Make
for
sure you come
having
back
me.
again.
I will for sure.
And Carrie, as always, you're always on the show. Obviously, we'll clear
We
the
don't even
table
have to be
next
doing a
time.
show, just
I
show
can do
up.
a good can-can.
We want to see that. The
Oh,
internet
God.
wants to see that.
No.
Lindsay, you are awesome, sir, as always.
Lindsay!
Can't wave at the camera.
Thank you,
this
Lindsay.
time.
And Shannon, who's been watching us, making sure we're on pace and well behaved. I think that was one maybe for me.
Nailed it.
And Sue,
Tim.
good app. We have been looking forward to this episode all week. As a matter of fact, from before I left on my trip, I had been emailing Shannon to say when are we getting the girls in there? And then during my trip, I think I emailed you twice. I'm like, please make this happen. Please make this happen. So
So
yes,
nice.
Well, we
ladies.
hope you enjoy it.
Oh yes.
Yes.
And fingers crossed for season 2.
That's it.
Crossed.
And for Smithy TV and the Monreals, I think that's a good night.